A friend of mine completely transformed his life in just 1 year. Doubled his income, got in the best shape of his life, fixed his relationships, and the anxiety he'd struggled with for years, gone. How? By changing just 7 simple habits. And here's the thing, these aren't just random tips I picked up somewhere. These are habits backed by leading psychologists, confirmed by research from top universities, and used by thousands of people to transform their lives. In this video, I'm going to share all 7 with you. Welcome to Mind Therapy, where psychology meets prosperity. Today, I'm going to share 7 habits that, if you start implementing today, will make you unrecognizable 12 months from now. And these aren't just my opinions. Every single one of these habits is backed by science, from Stanford to MIT, from James Clear to BJ Fogg. But more importantly, they're simple. You don't need to overhaul your entire life, you just need to start. So if you're ready to discover how these habits can transform your life, stick with me until the end of this video. Let's dive into habit number 1. Habit number 1, daily morning journaling. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, journaling, really? Let me tell you a story. I once interviewed a client of a psychologist who'd been dealing with severe stress for years. Every night, he'd go to bed with 1,000 thoughts racing through his mind. Work worries, financial concerns, family issues, all spinning endlessly. He'd wake up exhausted as if he hadn't slept at all. One day, his therapist gave him one incredibly simple task. For just 2 minutes every morning when you wake up, write down whatever's on your mind. Don't judge it, don't edit it, just write. He started. Day 1, just 3 lines. Day 2, a full page. Day 3, back to 2 lines. After 3 months, he told me it felt like a ton of weight had been lifted off his shoulders. Why? The University of Texas conducted a study on 200 people. The group that journaled their thoughts and feelings for 15 to 20 minutes daily saw a 28% reduction in stress levels. Their blood pressure improved. Their sleep quality got better. Why? Because when you write down your thoughts, your brain realizes it doesn't need to constantly loop those thoughts to remember them. This is called cognitive offloading. In simple terms, your brain stops using energy to hold on to that thought and can focus on more important things. James Clear, author of the best-selling book Atomic Habits, says writing is like having a conversation with yourself but without the noise of your mind. So here's what you need to do. Starting today, just 2 minutes, when you wake up, write down 3 things that are on your mind. It could be worries, happiness, plans, anything. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be pretty. Just write. Keep a small notebook next to your bed and start tomorrow morning. All right, that was habit number 1, daily journaling. But the next habit, this is the one used by Brian Tracy, James Clear, and even Warren Buffett. And the interesting thing is, most people think they need to make huge changes to be successful, but the reality is completely different. Let's talk about habit number 2. Habit number 2, the 1% better rule. This is one of the most powerful concepts I've ever come across, and it can genuinely change your life. A friend of mine wanted to read more, but every time he tried, he'd get tired after 10 pages and quit. One day I asked him, "Why don't you just read 1 page a day?" He said, "1 page? That's nothing." I said, "Okay, how many books do you read per year right now?" He said, 0. I said, "Well, 1 page a day is 365 pages a year. That's at least 3 to 4 complete books." My friend started, just 1 page a day. Some days he'd read 5 pages, some days just 1, but he never quit. After 1 year, he'd read 12 books. 12! Just from reading 1 page a day. In his book Atomic Habits, James Clear shares a fascinating calculation. If you get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better. 37 times! But if you get 1% worse every day, by the end of the year, you'll be nearly at zero. This is the power of the compound effect. Just like money grows with compound interest, your small habits compound too. Stanford University conducted a study showing that people who set small goals are 3 times more likely to succeed than those who set big goals. Why? Because small goals are less intimidating, they're easier to start, and they're more likely to stick. So what do you need to do? Pick one thing you want to improve, just one. Then ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today? Want to work out? Just 5 minutes. Want to meditate? Just 2 minutes. Want to save money? Just $5. Start small, but start, and keep going every single day. A year from now, when you look back, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. All right, so far we've covered 2 habits, daily journaling and the 1% improvement rule. But the next habit, this one's a real game changer. Because most people approach habits completely wrong, and that's why they fail. Let's talk about habit number 3. Habit number 3, identity-based habits. This is one of the most powerful concepts James Clear explains in his book. Let me break it down for you. Most people, when they want to build a new habit, focus on the outcome. They say things like, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to save $10,000. But this is backwards. Why? Because you're focused on the result, not on who you need to become. Let me give you an example. 2 people are trying to quit smoking. Someone offers the first person a cigarette. They say, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. Someone offers the second person a cigarette. They say, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. See the difference? The first person still sees themselves as a smoker who's trying to quit. The second person sees themselves as a non-smoker. This tiny difference has a massive impact on their success. A friend of mine wanted to become an athlete. He tried for years but kept failing. One day I asked him, how do you see yourself? He said, someone who wants to work out. I said, that's the problem. See yourself as an athlete. He said, but I'm not an athlete. I said, what do athletes do? He said, they work out. I said, then you do the same. Even if it's just 5 minutes, you're an athlete. This shift in mindset changed everything. He wasn't trying to stop being lazy anymore. He was acting according to his new identity, an athlete. So what do you need to do? Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I am a reader. Instead of saying, I want to save money, say, I am financially savvy. Instead of saying, I want to eat healthy, say, I am a healthy person. Change your identity, not just your behavior. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Then act like that person. Every small action you take is a vote for your new identity. Want to be a writer? Write 1 sentence a day. Now you're a writer. Want to be an athlete? Move for 5 minutes a day. Now you're an athlete. Start now. Change your identity. All right, we've covered 3 habits so far, but the next 4? These are the ones people rarely talk about, and one of them is the secret weapon of the wealthy. Before we continue, if you're finding this valuable so far, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps us create more content like this. Let's dive into habit number 4. Habit number 4. Dopamine detox. This might be the hardest habit on this list, but it could also be the most impactful. Let me be blunt. We're in a war for our attention. Big tech companies spend billions of dollars making their apps as addictive as possible. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, they're all designed to keep you hooked. How? Through dopamine. Every time you watch a new video, get a like, receive a notification, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, and your brain gets addicted to these quick, easy dopamine hits. The result? You can't focus on hard, long-term work anymore because that doesn't give you instant dopamine. The University of California did a study. The average attention span dropped from 12 seconds in 2000 to 8 seconds in 2023. 8 seconds! Less than a goldfish! So what's the solution? A dopamine detox. 1 day a week, or even just a few hours, stay away from all these dopamine triggers. No phone, no Instagram, no YouTube, no notifications. Just you, a book, a pen, or just silence. It's hard at first, really hard. Your brain screams, just a quick check? But after a few hours, something interesting happens. Your brain starts to reset. You can focus on a book for 30 minutes again. You can have a deep conversation without checking if your phone buzzed. People who do this say they feel like they're back in control of their lives. So here's what you need to do. This week, pick one day, preferably on the weekend. From morning to night, or even just 4 hours, turn your phone completely off. Not silent mode, off. Instead, read a book, go for a long walk, have a deep conversation with a friend. I guarantee that afterwards, you'll feel like a filter has been lifted from your mind. And this is just the beginning. Repeat this every week and watch your focus return. All right, we've covered 4 habits so far, but the next one is crucial because here's what people rarely say. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. And if you're in the wrong environment, none of these habits will work. Let's talk about habit number 5. Habit number 5, social circle audit. There's a famous quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But this isn't just a motivational phrase, it's scientific fact. Harvard University conducted a 30-year study on tens of thousands of people. The result? If your close friend becomes obese, your chances of becoming obese increase by 57%. If your friend is happy, your chances of being happy increase by 15%. If your friend smokes, your chances of smoking increase by 61%. This isn't just about behavior. It's about mindset, energy, and even income. Research shows that if your friends earn high incomes, you're likely to as well, and vice versa. Why? Because we're social creatures. We unconsciously copy the behaviors, beliefs, and even expectations of those around us. A few years ago, a friend of mine decided to start a business, but all his friends were employees. And every time he talked about his business idea, they'd say, "That's too risky. You should have a stable job. Why take that risk?" My friend, even though he was smart and energetic, gave up after a few months. Years later, he met a different group, people who ran businesses, took risks, and were focused on growth. He started the same idea again. This time, everyone said, "That's awesome. How can I help?" Now, 3 years later, he has a successful business. What changed? Not his skills, not his idea, just his environment. So what do you need to do? Audit your social circle. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then ask, are these people pushing me toward my goals or holding me back? Do they have positive or negative energy? Are they growing or stagnant? This is tough, really tough, because some of these people might be old friends. But you have to choose. Do you want to be nice or do you want to be successful? You don't need to cut anyone off, but you need to spend more time with people who lift you up, not drag you down. All right, we've covered 5 habits so far, but the next two, these directly impact your money and financial security. And habit number 6 is one of the simplest yet most powerful things you can do for your financial future. Let's get into it. Habit number 6, daily financial tracking. If there's one financial habit you start, make it this one, because you can't improve what you don't measure. Most people have no idea where their money goes. A study in the US showed that 78% of people don't know exactly how much they spend per month. They just guess, and their guess is always wrong, usually 30–40% lower than reality. Meaning they think they spend $2,000 a month, but they actually spend $3,000. That $1,000 difference becomes $12,000 a year, money they could have saved or invested. Why does this happen? Because our brains don't work well with big numbers. A $5 coffee seems small, but if you buy one every day, that's $150 a month. So what's the solution? Every day, write down every expense. It doesn't need to be complicated. A simple app, a notebook, or even an Excel file. Just write date, amount, what for. For example, Jan 15, $5, coffee. Jan 15, $40, gas. Jan 15, $15, lunch. Super simple. But after 1 month, when you review it, something amazing happens. You see exactly where your money goes. You realize 30% of your income goes to unnecessary things. You see some expenses are way higher than you thought. And just this awareness changes your behavior. One study showed that people who track their expenses spend 20% less on average without feeling deprived, just because they know where their money goes. So here's what you need to do. Starting today, install a simple app or grab a small notebook. Every expense you make, write it down immediately. Not at night when you get home, not at the end of the week, right now. After 1 month, add up all your expenses and see where they went. I guarantee you'll be shocked. And that shock is the first step to changing your finances. All right, we've covered 6 habits so far. But the last one? This is what ties everything together. Because without this habit, everything you've learned will slowly fade away. This habit is what separates people who start from people who succeed. Let's talk about habit number 7. Habit number 7, evening reflection. This is the final habit, but perhaps the most important. Because this habit connects everything you've learned. Most people start their day, do a bunch of stuff, and go to bed exhausted. Tomorrow, the same cycle repeats. But they never stop to ask, what did I do today? What did I learn? What could I have done better? Benjamin Franklin, every night before bed, asked himself, what good have I done today? Steve Jobs looked in the mirror every morning and asked, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? Bill Gates spends 1 hour every night just thinking. No book, no phone, just thinking. Why do these successful people do this? Because they know a life without reflection is just an endless cycle of repeating the same mistakes. So what do you need to do? Every night, before you go to bed, take 5 minutes. Phone off, TV off, just you and a piece of paper and pen. Then ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. What did I do well today? 2. What did I learn today? 3. How can I be better tomorrow? Write down the answers. Even if they're short, that's okay. These 5 minutes are what separates someone who just lives from someone who consciously grows. After 1 month, go back and read what you wrote. You'll see how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and how much better you've become. And this is what makes you unrecognizable in 12 months. All right, let's recap. The 7 habits we covered. 1. Daily morning journaling to clear your mind.
2. The 1% better rule, gradual but consistent growth. 3. Identity-based habits, change from within. 4. Dopamine detox, reclaim your focus. 5. Social circle audit, choose the right people. 6. Daily financial tracking, know where your money goes. 7. Evening reflection, learn from each day. Each of these habits is powerful on its own, but when you combine them all, your life transforms. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, day by day, you become a better version of yourself. But just reading about them isn't enough. You need to take action. So starting today, pick just one of these habits. Just one. The one that resonated with you most. The one you think will have the biggest impact on your life. And start. Today. Right now. Focus on that one for 30 days. After 30 days, add another one. By the end of the year, you'll have all 7. And I guarantee, 12 months from now, when you look in the mirror, you won't recognize the person staring back at you. Because that will be the better, stronger, more successful version of you. Now, it's your turn. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 habits are you going to start today? Habit 1, daily journaling? Habit 4, dopamine detox? Or maybe a different one? Make sure to write it down, because when you publicly commit, you're 3 times more likely to follow through.
And if you want to know why some people, even with all these habits, still struggle financially, make sure to watch the next video. There, we're going to talk about 5 money beliefs that keep you broke, beliefs that many of us learned as children, but are completely wrong. And if you don't change them, none of these habits can help you. The link is in the description, or you can find it on our channel page. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe. We publish new content every Monday and Thursday here at Mind Therapy. Content based on scientific research designed to help you grow. Thanks for sticking with me until the end. See you in the next one.